Hi there, welcome back to the TUT class. In today's class, we'll be looking at common entrance pass question, under which we'll be looking at the first part, part A, and under part A also we'll be looking at the first 10 questions. In our next video, we'll be looking at the next 10 questions, the next 10 questions, the next 10 questions. For each part, we have 40 questions in general, so we have part A, B, C, and D, under which part A has 40 questions, part B has 40 questions, part C has 40 questions, and part D also has 40 questions. So let's see I'm going to explain each of these questions for us to understand. Okay, so relatively these are math questions for common entrance. Okay, so for number one question, we have how many seconds are there in 8 minutes 12 seconds? How many seconds are there in 8 minutes 12 seconds? How do we do this? The first thing we have to do in this case is convert this to seconds, after which you add it to this. Okay, because 8 minutes 12 seconds is like 8.12 in that case then. So let's see solution. Number one, 8 minutes 12 seconds. I said we're going to convert this to seconds first before we add it to 12. Okay, how to convert it to seconds? Note, 60 seconds make 1 minute. So since 60 seconds makes 1 minute, and I'm to convert to seconds, automatically 60 seconds is smaller than 1 minute in that case then, because seconds occur 60 times for minutes to occur just one time. And in this case, I'm trying to convert from a bigger to a smaller one. Okay, so to convert from a bigger to a smaller one, I'm going to multiply by 60. If I was to convert from seconds to minutes, I'm going to divide by 60 in that case. That's the idea. So converting from a smaller to a bigger, I'll do small to big, I divide. If I'm converting from big to small, I multiply. Now this law applies in any area in mathematics mostly. If I'm converting from a smaller to a bigger one, I will divide. Converting from a bigger to a smaller one, I'm going to multiply. Okay, so without wasting time, I'm going to multiply by 60. So since I'm converting 8 minutes 12 seconds to seconds, converting this to seconds becomes 8 times 60, then plus 12. This now becomes 8 times 60 is 480 plus 12. That becomes 492 seconds. So as simple as that. All of them are now in seconds. So by multiplying by 60, it turns to seconds. Then adding to 12 seconds becomes 492 seconds. Okay, that's all for that. Number 2 question says simplify this. To simplify this, what do I have? I have 2 over 5 plus 2 over 7, times 1 minus 1 over 8. Okay, so how do I do this? First, resolve the ones in the bracket, just like your board mass. Okay, let's see how we do that. In this case, what do I have? The LCM is 35. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Finding the LCM. 7 times 2 is is 14. Plus 35 divided by 7 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, times, this is like over 1 in this case then, because this is an whole number 1, so I can say the same thing as over 1. So the LCM is 8. Okay, 8 times 1 is 8. Now that I found the LCM, 8 divided by 1 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8, minus 8 divided by 8 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. This gives me 24 over 35 times 7 over over 8. For this, 8 minus 1 is 7 over 8. 14 plus 10 is 24 over 35. Now from here, 7 can go in 7 1. 7 can go in 35 5 times. And for this one, 8 can go in 8 1. 8 can go here 3 times. So finally, I can say 3 times 1 is 3 over 5 times 1 is 5. So my answer is what? 3 over 5. Okay, now for number 3 question, what do we have? Number 3 question says that what? There are 750 students in a college. If 70% of them are girls, how many are boys? Now the percentage of girls was given to us in the question. What will be the percentage of boys? Automatically, if girls has a percentage as what? 70, boys would be what? 100% minus 70% to get out of boys, which gives me what? 30%. So this is the percentage of what? Boys, given that by default total percent is what? 100. So that's I got boys on. Now, but I'm to find how many students are boys, not the percentage from the question. So in which case I'm going to have that as what? 30 out of boys over what? 100, which is the total percent, times total number of students, which is what? 750. Okay, in which case 0 cancel 0, 0 cancel 0. I have 3 times what? 75. What 3 times 5 here is what? 15. 5 remainder 1. 3 times 7 is 21, 22. So I have 225 students as what? As boys. Okay, so if any case I also find out of girls, I'll just say 70 over what? 100 times what? 750. Or since I found out of boys, subtract this from what? 750 to get out of what? Of girls. Okay, so for number 4 question, what do we have? Number 4 question says simplify this. In this case, what I would relatively do here is what? I would say I'll convert this to an improper fraction, which becomes 9 times 5. That's 45 plus 4, that's 49. So I'm going to have the question as what? 49 over what? Over 9. From here. 49 over what? Over 9. Square root of 49 is what? 7. Square root of 9 is 3. I can leave my answer like this, so I convert back to what? In mixed fraction in this case, where 3 and 7 is what? 2 remainder 1 over what? Over 3. Okay, for number 5 question, we have what? In a village, the number of people infected with HIV in 2001 was 100. So in 2001, we have the number of infections to what? 100. In 2004, 250 people were infected. So that in this case, in 2004, we have what? 250 people. Find the ratio of those infected in 2001 to those infected in 2004. That's 2001 ratio what? 2004, which means 100 ratio what? 250. Now when we have questions in ratio form, it's simply saying what? 2001 over 2004, which is equals to what? 100 over what? 250. So I'm looking for this ratio. Whenever we have ratio, it means what? Division. So I'm concerned with this one. 0 cancel 0. 5 here 2. 5 here what? 5. So my answer is what? 2 over what? 5. In which case, converting back to ratio, it's what? 2 ratio what? 5. Okay, so for number 6 question, we have what? The ratio of the length to the breadth of the room is 7:5. The length to the breadth is what? 7:5. Converting it straight up, I have it as what? 7 over 5. Okay. Find the length of the room if the breadth is what? 10 meter. Find the length of the room if the breadth is 10 what? Meter. So let's just classify this as what? First length, first breadth. Then second length is what I'm looking for. Second breadth is what I was giving second breadth in that case, which was what? 10. Okay, so now as law of proportion, we can say L1 over B1 equals L2 over what? B2, where where my L1 is what? 7 over 5 equals L2, let's say that's x, over what? Over 10. Okay, so my L1 is 7, my L2 is given as x, my B1 is 5, my B2 is what? Is 10. So, law of proportion, we have what? L1 over B1 equals what? L2 over what? B2. Now, cross multiply here. 5 times x is what? 5x equals 7 times 10, which is what? 70. In which case, it implies that what? Divide both sides by what? 5 to get x. On dividing, I have this cancels this. 5 here 1, 5 and 7 is 1. Another 2, 5 and 20 is what? 4. So my x equals what? 14. So in which case, it means that what? The length of the second room is what? 14. This is my length then. Okay, for number 7 question, what do we have? Number 7 question says increase 80 by 10%. Increase 80 by what? 10%. In this question, what you have to do is what? Get this 10%, then add it to 80. Get 10% of 80, then add it to 80. That's to increase it. If we were to reduce it by 10%, get 10% of 80, subtract from 80. Okay, so for this question, increase it by 10% means what? I have to get 10 over 100 of 80. 0 cancel 0. Okay, so leave my answer to what? 8. So 10% of 80 is what? 8. In that case then. So to increase it by 8 now, that becomes what? 80 plus what? 8. That's what? 88. This is the answer. If I was to reduce it by 10% of 80, after getting 8, I subtract 8 from here, from 80. Okay, for number 8 question, we have what? Odin bought 12 cartons of biscuits for 3,000 naira. In that case, then we have 12 cartons. 12 cartons of biscuits equals what? 3,000 naira. And I said find the cost of 7 cartons. For 7 cartons, that becomes what? X. Now, how do you solve this question? The first thing you need to do in this case is to find the cost of 1 carton of biscuit before you can find what? 7 carton. So for 12 carton, we still have it to be what? 3,000 naira. Now, looking at 1 carton. Now, 1 carton will be less in terms of the price. So it becomes what? 3,000 over what? Over 12. Okay. So yeah, 3 here, this is 4. 3 here, this is what? 1,000. Okay. 4 here, 1. 400 is 25. So this is 250. So it means 1 carton is 250 naira. Okay. So that's 1 carton. If 1 carton of a material is 250, 7 cartons now becomes what? 250 times 7 in that case then, which leaves my answer to be what? 1,750 naira after multiplying. Okay, so that's the cost of what? 7 cartons of biscuits in that case. For number 9 question, we have what? I wanted to reduce 36 over 100 to its lowest term. I have to reduce 36 over 100 to its lowest term. 4 here 9, 4 here 25. So I believe this is the answer. My answer is now over 25. Simple as that. Then number 10 question, which is the final one. It said a man earns 5,000 naira for 10 days work. He earns what? 5,000 naira for 10 days work. How much should he earn in 14 days? In 14 days, he will earn X naira. Okay, so in that case then let's switch it over, to be of this one. How do I mean? 10 days, in 10 days time, he earned 5,000 naira after working. Let's get for 1 day first. 1 day he will earn less. That becomes what? 5,000 over what? 10, which is what? 500 naira. It means for 1 day he's going to earn 500 naira then for 14 days he will earn more. Since for 1 day he earned 500 naira, 14 days becomes what? 500 times what? Times 14. Okay, so which now becomes what? 5 times 4, that's 20. 1025700. So for 14 days he will earn what? 7,000 naira. And that is the solution of the whole 10 questions that we have here.